Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this program, Our Moments with God, our moments with the Word of God, our moments with the love, mercy, and compassion of God, our moments also with the holy ones of God, not only the canonized saints, but many of the holy ones who, for example, are lying under this earth in the graves. They lived holy life or attempted to live a holy life, which inspires you and me also to lead our own lives in a more holy way or in a more pious way or in a more spiritual way. And I invite you to please share the videos with others and ask your friends and families to subscribe. Please write your comments and press the like button so that the algorithms automatically share the videos with many others. Thank you very much. As you can see, very recently I made a video in the cemetery when we were celebrating the feast of Maria Magdalena. And once again, Maria Magdalena was, of course, found the risen Lord at the grave. And today, I am using once again the cemetery. Maybe because my last days are coming near, I don't know. I will be within a few days 75. So 75 is a good age to be called by God, but that depends on God whenever He wants and whenever He decides to call us back to His home. That depends on Him. But before we go home, this place, cemetery, is something that reminds us a great deal, because today the church celebrates the feast of all the threes, Martha, Maria, and Lazarus. Earlier, 29th of July used to be the feast of only Saint Martha, if you remember. But in 2021, Pope Francis declared and combined all the three together, this family of Martha, Mary, and Lazarus, as an example of several things which I will just come to in a minute. But it has been introduced only a few years ago, actually just 6 years ago. And according to the Roman calendar, this is supposed to be an obligatory memorial. Earlier it used to be only a memorial, but now it is obligatory. Memorial means this feast has to be observed as it is, and you cannot just take it for granted. And why? Because earlier, as Pope Francis and the dicastery declared, they were not very sure about the identity of Mary Magdalene. So now that it is settled, these three can be combined, because each one of them is giving a wonderful example for our spiritual life. For example, Martha, whose feast we used to celebrate on the 29th of July, is one who gives an example of being an active Christian. And remember, this whole family was very close to Jesus. Jesus was a good friend of the family who used to often visit them. And Martha informs Jesus about that her brother was very sick and that he could come and visit, but Jesus takes his own time. That is another matter. But finally, when he is dead, Jesus comes to the place and he waits still for a few days before he comes. You know, actually Jesus comes to raise Lazarus only on the third day. So third day has very important meaning. But let's go back to what Martha says, and that's why I have come to the cemetery. She said, "Lord, if you were here, my brother would not have died." Then Jesus said, "He will rise again." And then she said, "Yes, I know he will rise again on the last day." And then Jesus makes this great statement of truth and of our deep faith. Jesus said, "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, even when he," or here people who die, "they will be alive." That means when we believe in Jesus, we automatically believe in everything that he taught, particularly this great statement of truth that I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, even if he dies, he will live or she will live. This is the first thing that he declared to Martha. When we come to the example of Mary, who, as we know, when Martha was busy with, doing hospitality, thing active, yeah, she was an active follower of Jesus, close to Jesus, but was an active person, like all the missionaries are active. But Mary chose to sit at Jesus' feet and listen to him. Now, this is something equally important, and Pope Francis has very ingeniously done this together, that he brought the active Martha, the contemplative Mary, and the risen Lazarus all together to make a wonderful combination of the Christian truth, of the way the Christians should live their life, active and being contemplative at the same time. Because unless, like Mary, we listen to the word of God, as you know very well, I am trying every day to proclaim the word of God, and I am hoping that people are listening, or at least encouraging others to listen by sharing the videos. I am sure you're doing that. Thank you very much. But unless we listen like Mary, we cannot enter into contemplation. And contemplation is something that brings us certainly closer to God. Why? Because in contemplation, we encounter ourselves. This is my experience. We encounter our weaknesses, we encounter our problems, we encounter how far we are from God, or how close we can get to God, and how urgent and necessary it is to be close to God. And Lazarus, of course, is telling us that nothing is impossible for God. Even if you are dead for 3 days and are in the grave, God has the power to raise. That time he raised him back to life. Of course, later on Lazarus died again. But what it means is that when we trust in God and are in friendship with him, remember this family was a close friend of Jesus, then this friendship can bring about a lot of transformation, first of all, for ourselves, and also things that are needed for us. God generously grants that. And my dear friends, if you like, as you celebrate this feast of Saint Martha, Mary and Lazarus, please subscribe to the channel and share the videos with others. Thank you.